in the woods near my town. There's an old railway tunnel that no one uses anymore. It's been abandoned for decades and people say it's haunted. The story goes that when they were building the tunnel, some workers died in accidents and their spirits still roam inside. I never believed the stories, but one evening, my friends and I decided to check it out for ourselves. We started our hike just as the sun was setting. The tunnel was hidden deep in the woods, and by the time we reached it, the sky was getting dark. The entrance to the tunnel was overgrown with weeds, and the rusty tracks were barely visible beneath the dirt. It looked as if no one had been there in years. We stepped inside, and immediately the temperature dropped. The air felt heavy and damp, and our flashlights barely made a dent in the darkness ahead. The tunnel seemed to go on forever, the walls cold and slick with moisture. The only sound was the crunch of gravel under our feet and the occasional drip of water from the ceiling. As we walked deeper, the feeling of dread grew stronger. About halfway through, we started hearing strange noises. At first, it was faint, like the sound of metal tools hitting stone clang, but it was far off, so we ignored it. Still, the sound made my skin crawl. Suddenly, we heard something else: footsteps. Slow, heavy footsteps coming from behind us. We stopped, shining our flashlights back down the tunnel, but there was nothing there. The footsteps stopped when we did, as if whoever or whatever it was had frozen too. My heart started to race. We tried to act calm and kept walking, but the footsteps started up again, this time faster, like they were getting closer. Panic set in. We walked faster, our footsteps echoing in the narrow space, but the footsteps behind us only grew louder. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, and I knew the others were just as scared. Then, one of my friends screamed. I spun around, shining my light, and that's when we saw it. At the far end of the tunnel, a figure stood in the darkness. It looked like a man, dressed in old, dirty work clothes. He was holding a pickaxe, but he wasn't moving. He just stood there, watching us. His face was hidden in the shadows, but something about him felt wrong, like he didn't belong in this world. We didn't wait to find out what he wanted. Without saying a word, we all started running as fast as we could, our footsteps pounding on the gravel. The footsteps behind us sped up too, getting louder and closer, as if someone or something was chasing us. My lungs burned, and fear pushed me to run even faster. Just when I thought we'd never get out, we burst out of the tunnel into the cool night air. We didn't stop running until we were far away from the entrance, gasping for breath, terrified. When we finally stopped and turned around, the tunnel was silent again. Whatever had been inside didn't follow us out, but I knew then that the stories were true. The workers who died building that tunnel are still there, trapped in the darkness, waiting. And anyone who dares to go in might never come back out.